Very well. Very well. There was the one grid route that the tight end caught going across, and there was the one slant earlier going across and a man coverage when they were first quarter in our deal. That kind of stuff's going to happen. I think, and I didn't see the stats, I think they threw for under 200 yards, so that's good against a team that I think they came in averaging close to 500 yards and 40 points a game, so the fact that we held them under those numbers was good.
As far as pressuring Price and then at the same time containing him, how did you feel your guys did?
Well, he was elusive. We started to spy him a little bit more in the second half where we had a guy, in case he did break it, kind of play for him. And so we did better on that in the second half. We just didn't do as well against the run. We got to keep a team to under 120 yards rushing, and then I'll feel better about it. But all in all, I'm pleased with the win.
You talked about the tackling side of things. Was it a lot of over pursuit? Felt like they had a chance to get him, and he just kind of stepped aside.
Sometimes, and people don't want to hear this, and I appreciate the question. Sometimes player A is just better than player B in space, just like some of our guys do, and that doesn't make it right. But a good athlete, you get out athlete. So we'll practice some more open field tackling, but sometimes that happens.
How'd you like the way you guys responded in a close game for a change?
I was very pleased. I really was. I'm happy to walk out here with a win. It's a tough place to win. Always have a lot of respect for Washington. They're a good football team. Were they 14th or 16th in the country? I don't. And they played a great game against Stanford down there. So I knew we had our hands full, and our offense once again was incredible. Marcus Mariota is wow.
It makes your job a little bit better.
Makes it a lot easier with the way we put points on the board and the way our offensive plays. I say tongue-in-cheek, but I actually mean it. We play our best defense when our offense is on the field.
No, but seriously, when you look at Mariota as a defensive coordinator, how good is he?
He's awesome. We play him every day. And when a guy can extend plays with his legs, like Marcus can, and Price can, and a guy can run like Marcus can, fast, and he's elusive, and then when he gets out there and has time to throw it or on the edge, extend plays and make throws, it's a three-headed monster. And I'm really glad he's on our side.
You guys practice against yourselves, and you guys practice against your tempo in practice, but this was the first time you guys have played somebody that actually went that fast.
Yeah,
what was that like?
We did okay for the most part. You have to get calls in right away, and we gave the kids a standard, if Coach Al screwed it up, check to this. Just everybody check to it. I didn't get the call in, check to it. There was one time I tried to get nickel in the game. It was a huge mistake. They weren't substituting. We shouldn't have tried to get nickel in the game. That's on me. We called a timeout, though, and didn't get the 12 men on the field, and that was near the end of the half, so that timeout didn't cost us. But those kinds of things can cost you. But they did try to tempo us. But I thought for the most part, that didn't hurt us. Tackling hurt us a little bit.
Didn't feel like anybody got winded then?
No, I didn't see that. I just saw a good offensive team that can extend plays with Price like we can. Good receivers and good tight end and a good back. So they tested us, and I'm very pleased about the win.
Nick, can you compare what Scott being handed the keys to this offense to something? I mean, he's being given the best offense arguably in college football. Can you compare that to something, in your profession?
Well, I know this. He's driving that car real fast,
Right, I know.
and it looks really pretty.
I know.
So Scott Frost, I'm tickled for him. A young rising star. Kudos to him and all the great things that happened for him offensively and our team offensively. Right. It's a good start with Marcus Mariota, DeAnthony, and Byron and the receivers and stuff, but he's done an outstanding job, and I'm happy for him.
That's my point. He's not the first guy you think of. Maybe not the fifth guy you think of with this offense, and he inherited a lot from Chip, but he hasn't screwed it up, I guess is what I'm saying.
No, he's far from that.
Right.
Far from that.
What do you see Marcus doing now that, because you play against him in practice, what's he doing now that he wasn't doing a year ago? Or
You know, I actually think he's throwing the ball better, in my opinion, John. I think he's actually throwing the ball down the field better. You know, before we'd get a lot of, bubble screens and quicks and hitters like that. Our deep passing game with Marcus, I think, has really improved. The combination of the routes probably that Scott and Mark and them have put in, and him being able to get the ball to the receiver down the field, I really see that is a great improvement, because we've always seen that he can run and extend plays. Yeah. How about that S run that he made, which was incredible? But he's throwing the ball. He's hit some guys. There was one earlier, we should have another touchdown. That's football, though, that the guy was wide open. I don't know who it was. I think it was Keenan Lowe, but you don't need to print that. But there was a guy, he's throwing the ball down the field very well. So that's what I see where he's really upped his game. And ascension, that's what we need to do. The team needs to, ascension is what we need to do. We need to keep trying to do this collectively as a team. And so far I'm pleased with that. We need to keep doing this collectively.
What adjustments did you make at halftime that allowed you to get so much pressure on Keith in the second half?
Well, we just rushed 4 guys more than we rushed 3, was really the bottom line. We weren't getting it done with 3, but it was keeping the ball in front of us. And when you rush 3, it's we know what you're going to get. So we just rushed 4, and we changed it up with 5 sometimes, and brought a little bit of edge pressure, some zone dogs. So it got a little bit better for us. We just changed things up.
How about your D-line there? Third down situations, 4 down situations. Muley came up with 1. Taylor came up with 1.
I love our D-line. Our D-line is the heart and soul of our defensive team. A lot of our guys bust their butt and do a great job, but our D-line, they set the tone. They handle their business on and off the field better than any other group. They work harder in practice better than any other group. And they get the respect by the total defense, I think, collectively more than any other group. And that's not to say our other groups are bad, because they're not bad. But our D-line is the engine that drives our defensive team right now, in my opinion.
Along the same lines, how do you feel about the linebackers with Pasecco and Rodney?
We're getting better.
Yeah.
We're getting better. I've said this before. When you lose Kiko and Michael Clay and Deion Jordan, those are 3 really good players. I mean, 2 of them are. Well, one of them's having an unbelievable career in the NFL, and that's Kiko, and he was the highest draft pick. But they're all great players, so I'm very pleased. Very pleased. And Tony Washington is a solid, good football player also, and he's playing very well for us.
Obviously, there's a lot of guys on the offense that get all the credit. I mean, the linebackers have sort of been underrated a little bit. I mean, do they deserve a lot more respect than they've gotten?
They do deserve a lot more respect maybe than they've gotten, but they get a hell of a lot of respect from us,
right,
and from me, and from our defensive coaches, and from their peers. And to me, that's the greatest respect you should want, is that when your peers respect you and say, wow, that guy's a good football player, that guy busts his butt, he plays hard. That's the greatest respect. And getting the wins, being 6-0, to me, that's the most important stat. And actually, we're not giving up a lot of points this year, so I'm pleased with that too. So, after 6 games, I think we're under 2 touchdowns a game.
Right.
So that's hard to do in today's football game. So I'm not bragging, but I'm very pleased.
You've been around here
Thanks,
for
Nick.
a lot of these rivalries.
Thank you.
A lot of these rivalry games. Did you ever imagine 10 in a row against the Huskies?
I'd have to say that was a wild dream way back when. So that's a hard one to answer, because we're pleased that we have done that. But every year and every team's different. So we're happy to have done that, and we'll move on to the next one.